So here I'm back with the fourth part of the video, and in the last video we have seen that how Iago was successful in blaming Cassio or in manipulating Cassio, and Othello had removed Cassio from the place of lieutenant. Okay, now in this part we'll study about the further manipulations and plans of Iago. Okay, so the first line goes like, thus did Iago's first artifice succeed completely. So here we have got to know that Iago's first plan have succeeded very nicely. Okay, and as he thought he had done it, that is removing Cassio's place of lieutenant, and he has now undermined his hated rival. Undermined in the sense he has now removed his hated rival in the sense enemy, whom he used to hate Cassio, and thrust him out of his place and just remove him from his place of lieutenant commander. But a further use was hereafter to be made of the adventure of this disastrous night. But the plan is not yet over. Okay, there is a lot to do, and further use was hereafter. And all this whatever happened, he will be using afterwards also. And this is not the end of the disastrous night. There is a lot more that will happen, and there is a lot more that Iago has thought in his mind. तो इसका ये मतलब है, बट अ फर्दर यूज़ वॉज हेयर आफ्टर टू बी मेड. ये सारी चीज़ों का जो एक्चुअली में जो यूज़ है वो बाद में किया जाएगा. टू बी मेड ऑफ द एडवेंचर ऑफ दिस डिज़ास्टर्स नाइट मीन्स इन इस नाइट का, डिज़ास्टर्स नाइट का जो यूज़ है वो अभी हमें पता चला, बट इसका जो इफ़ेक्ट है वो बाद में भी हमें पता चलेगा. अंडरस्टूड. नेक्स्ट पैराग्राफ. Cassius, whom this misfortune has entirely sobered. In the sense, Cassio was extremely ashamed of this act of his, and he was regretting his behavior, and then he was trying to confide himself. In the sense, he was trying to lament, he was trying to cry and show his emotions in front of his friend Iago. So here Cassio was trusting Iago, and he was showing his emotions in front of Iago, and he says that he should have been such a fool as to transform himself into a beast. And that means that he shouldn't have been transformed himself into such a fool. And after getting drunk and all, a man is nothing less than of a beast. In the sense, a man becomes a wild animal. Beast in the sense, wild animal. Okay. And so here we can see that Cassio was extremely regretful for his foolish and idiotic actions. Alright. Next line is, he was undone. For how could he ask the general for his place again? He was undone in the sense he was very much hopeless. And he believed that he does not have that audacity. He does not have that courage to go to the master Othello and to ask for his position back. And he was fearing Othello a lot, that he might not forgive Cassio for doing such a deed in the sense work, for doing such a act. Othello will never ever forgive Cassio, and at this point of time Cassio was very much feeling disgusting. He despised himself, in the sense he hated himself for doing such a foolish act. Okay, now Iago, affected to make light of it, said that he, on any man living, might be drunk upon occasion. It remained now to make the best of a bad bargain. So here Iago is just trying to be the opposite of his character that he actually is. He is not really a good friend. He is not really a normal person. Actually, he is a manipulative and cunning man. Okay. But now he is just acting as a friend towards, in the sense, in front of Cassio. Here he says, like, it's fine, it's okay to get drunk sometimes, and it's very difficult for a man to control his drinking habits in the party and all, because there was this occasion going on. Okay, so here just see this line. Iago affecting to make light of it. Means Iago was just saying that it's okay, man. It's not a big deal. This matter is very much light. Means जो ये matter है वो बहुत normal. It's very normal. And it was all party going on, occasion was going on, and a man living might get drunk. Might be drunk means might get drunk. It's very normal. It remained now to make the best of the bad bargain. And there he says that he should do something, that the situation has occurred. Nobody knew. But now we have to make the best of it, out of it. In the sense, whatever has happened, happened. But उसमें से कुछ तो सोचना पड़ेगा, जिस मतलब इस सिचुएशन में भी आपको कुछ ना कुछ तो सोचना ही पड़ेगा अपने आप के लिए. You have to find a solution after all, right? No matter the situation is good, bad, doesn't matter. It's just that you have to find a solution and you have to see what you can do. Okay. And then the next line. It remained now to make the best of a bad bargain. The general's wife was now the general and could do anything with Othello. And since we have got to know that Desdemona had got married to Othello, so here, even Desdemona had held an important position, and she could do anything with Othello. If she could say Othello that he should not remove Cassio, or rather he should get back Cassio to his position, Othello would do that. And Desdemona can say such statements to Othello because she has also now become a part of that particular family. She is now the wife of whom? The wife of Othello, right? And so she can influence her husband, she can advise her husband, and she can even, say her husband to promote Cassio back to his position. And here, you see this line, the general's wife was now the general and could do anything with Othello. But he were best to reply to the Lady Desdemona to meditate for him with her lord. And here, Cassio was convinced by Iago, in the sense like Iago told Cassio to go to Desdemona and to mediate, and to mediate means and to convince for himself. Okay, वो कह रहा है कि जाओ और डेस्डेमोना से रिक्वेस्ट करो अपने आप के लिए कि वो अपने हस्बैंड से रिक्वेस्ट करे कि तुम्हें वापस से प्रमोशन मिल जाए. That she was a frank, obliging disposition. Why? Because Lady Desdemona was a person in front of whom, Cassio was very much frank. And he was in the position that he can say anything to Desdemona and would readily undertake a good office of this sort. And Cassio don't even have to think twice before taking or before, thinking about going to Desdemona. Because she is very much frank with Cassio. Okay, just see. Iago here describes Desdemona as a very kind and she would always help Cassio, believing that she would gladly help him and would try him to get his position as before. Alright, now the next line. And set Cassio right again in the general's favor. Set Cassio in the sense to get back Cassio, right again in the sense to the same position as the general's favor. As Othello wishes to, Cassio can get back to his original position. And then this crack in their love would be made stronger than ever. And here is the catch. When Cassio will be going to Desdemona to convince for himself, there Iago will sow the seeds of jealousy in the mind of Othello. Here comes the turning point. Okay, and so this part is very, very important. And the question might come that why Iago was trying to be friendly with Cassio and why did he advise Cassio to go to Desdemona? Okay, then come the next line. A good advice of Iago, if it had not given for wicked purposes which will after appear. Means the audience, in the sense whoever is reading the chapter is going through this play, will understand the wicked plans of Iago afterwards, because that will appear later on in the play. Cassio did as Iago advised him, and Cassio was trusting his friend Iago, and he did the same as he was advised, and made application to the lady Desdemona. And then he went to convince Lady Desdemona, who was easy to be won over in any honest suit. So here the characterization of Desdemona's character is given in the sense it's saying that Desdemona was very easy to be won over. Means anybody could easily convince Desdemona, especially Cassio, because she is very kind, helpful, and honest. And if anybody can just go to her and just speak to her very honestly, then she would easily get convinced. And after Cassio went to Desdemona, she promised Cassio that she should be his solicitor with her lord. What is the meaning of solicitor? That she would speak to Othello on the behalf of Cassio, that she would try to convince Othello for the position that Cassio had earlier. Alright, then Desdemona says that she would rather die than give up his cause. And here she says that she would do anything possible to convince her master. Okay, to die in the sense that she would do anything, and that she would do anything but she would not give up trying, convincing Othello. Then she immediately set about in so earnest and pretty a manner. Then she immediately set about, in the sense, then she had immediately went to her master. And what is the meaning of earnest? Set about in so earnest. Earnest means as early as possible. And prettier manner. What is the meaning of prettier manner? Means very passionately, with a full of energy, she went to Othello, who was mortally offended with Cassio. And Othello was a person who was extremely angry with Cassio. Offended in the sense, angry with Cassio, could not put her off. That he couldn't resist her request and all. She had gone to her husband very passionately, and she had tried her best to convince him, and at the end he was quite angry, but still he couldn't resist her request. When he pleaded delay, he in the sense Othello, okay, when Othello pleaded in the sense requested to delay, and that it was too soon to pardon such an offender in the sense who had done the offense. Okay, so he was just saying that it is too early to just forgive him. It is too early to do so. Alright, and the mistake was very, very big, and so it's too early, or rather too soon, to pardon such an offender, to forgive such an offender. She would not be beat back. She would not be beat back in the sense she did not listen to her husband. Instead, she had forced him to go as soon as possible. See here it's written, but insisted in the sense forced, that it should be the next night. Means she had given her husband some options and all, that whether it should be next night or the morning after or the next morning, to that at farthest. बोल रही ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा नेक्स्ट नाइट, या फिर उसके बाद वाला सुबह, या फिर उस सुबह के बाद वाला दिन नेक्स्ट मॉर्निंग. उतना ही दिन आप वेट कर सकते हैं, उससे ज़्यादा मैं आपको वेट नहीं करने दे सकती. Alright, and here we can see that Desdemona was trying her best to convince Othello, and she was also providing deadlines to her husband, the time frame and the deadlines. Later on, whatever we are going to read now, we'll see that Desdemona started, praising Cassio. You see it's written. Then she showed how penitent and humble poor Cassio was, and that his offense did not deserve so sharp a check. Here Desdemona was saying that how penitent in the sense genuine, and poor in the sense humble. How genuinely and how humble Cassio was, and that his offense in the sense mistake, did not deserve so sharp check in the sense such a severe punishment, that she was saying that ऐसा भी नहीं है कि कैशियो ने इतनी बड़ी गलती कर दी कि आप उसको इतनी बड़ी सज़ा दे रहे हैं. And when Othello still hung back, "What, my lord?" said she. And what is the meaning of this line? And when Othello still hung back, the meaning of this line is Othello still was trying to hesitate to forgive Cassio. And then what did the lady do? "What, my lord?" said she. "That I should have so much to do to plead for Cassio." What is it, my lord? I have to request you so much just to, just to prove Cassio's loyalty, just to say that how good Cassio is. Do I need to request you so much? Please forgive him. And then she says, "Michael Cassio, then came a courting for you, and often times when I have spoken in dispraise of you has taken your part." And she says over here that many times while I was, in the courting period, means while we were in the period to get married and all, many times I used to say bad things about you. Dispraise of you in the sense, say bad things about you. You is Othello. Here Desdemona is saying to her husband that many times I used to say bad things about you. But at that time, Cassio used to cover me up. Cassio used to explain me that how nice human being you are. Okay. I count this but a little to ask of you. I count this in the sense. And so here I request you. And in return I am asking just a little favor. Little thing in the sense, little favor. When I mean to try your love indeed. Here, what she actually said. Just read this line. When I mean to try your love indeed, I shall ask a weighty matter. Here she denies the fact that she is testing the love and all. Here she says that, "See, Lord, I am not testing the love. If in this case I would have tested the love and all, then I would have asked for a better thing. Not for this at least. I'm just asking you this because I know that Cassio is a nice human being, and so I want you to promote him." Okay. Next. Othello could deny nothing to such a pleader. Pleader means requester, and here Othello was unable to stop Desdemona's continuous request, and only requesting that Desdemona would leave the time to him. And he was also saying that Desdemona should leave some time to him so that he can just get everything right. But there and then he had promised his lady that he would get Cassio back in his own position of Lieutenant Military Army General. Alright.